Returning to the US presidential race now, and Georgia hasn't voted for a Democratic presidential candidate since Bill Clinton's first win in 1992. But the Biden campaign is convinced it can flip it. An influx of young, educated and diverse new arrivals has pulled the state to the left. But there remains an enormous urban-rural divide, with Atlanta overwhelmingly blue, the countryside deep red. SBS Chief International Correspondent Ben Lewis has visited the state to find the swing voters who could determine the result.
Locals call Ringgold the gateway to gorgeous Georgia. A small town in the far northwest of the state, once the site of a famous Confederate victory in the Civil War. It's now home to around 3,500 people, 90% of them are white. When the president talks about Trump country, this is it.
I'm very satisfied with what he's done in so many ways. And I think coming in without being a politician, he's been able to do things that most politicians haven't,
What makes him so popular in this part of Georgia?
I really think it's because of his biblical values.
Ed Painter is the county party chairman. He says Trump's message of unashamed patriotism, of being proud of your history, has struck a chord here.
We feel like we have such a great society here. The customs, the culture is so friendly, and we feel like that's slipping away. We feel like we've been left behind and betrayed by our own party, and Trump stepped up and said, I'm not one of these. I'm going to try to put us back together again.
In 2016, Donald Trump won 75% of the vote in this district. In 2020, local Republican officials believe they can do better still. They're under pressure to get every possible vote out of this reliably Republican area to offset what's expected to be a Democratic surge in Atlanta. In the city, there's not much love for Trump, but some scepticism over Biden too.
What's troubled me with Trump, I feel like he's a big racist. He supports supremacists, all that. And Biden, he's raising taxes.
However, Atlanta is now a Democratic stronghold, and early voter turnout is 150% higher than this time 4 years ago.
I feel it's a good thing to just go out in the community and express your vote. Try to make a change or just express how you feel about this politics. Every voice is important.
Georgia has a long history of voter suppression, and in 2020 it has some of the toughest eligibility rules in the country, with thousands purged from voter rolls.
The only way that we are going to neutralize the impact on voter suppression in this moment, until we can elect secretaries of state and elections officials, is to have overwhelming participation. And that is what is happening right now.
With the city deep blue and the country deep red, the recipient of Georgia's 16 electoral college votes will likely be determined by voters in the pleasant outer suburbs of Atlanta. Vietnam veteran Jim Hartsfield and wife Donna are the type of voters Trump should be worried about. Both backed him in 2016, but have already voted for Biden.
I thought maybe we needed something different. And him being a businessman, maybe that would have been a little different. And it has been to a certain extent, but I'm very disappointed with him.
They were pleased with the Trump economy, but then the pandemic hit.
I don't think he's handled it well. And when he starts calling our scientists idiots, I think he should listen to our scientists. And I think he shouldn't call people idiots that are trying to help this country.
Not everyone on the edge of Atlanta feels that way.
He's crazy. The things he says are crazy. But he's an incredible businessman. He, and the other side is just far too liberal for me.
Still, his behaviour is spooking some in this traditionally conservative area. A battleground within a battleground state Trump can't afford to lose. In Georgia, Ben Lewis, SBS World News.